Already got an aloha. Hey, we're on live. Oh, man. Oh, and my camera went out. Double whammy. It went out right when I went live. And I don't think I can change it once we go on live. But we got people here. So, Amy, what's going on? And Texas F-250. There's like not a more Texas name than Texas F-250. You know what I mean? That is pretty good. Hey, welcome, guys. While people are rolling in here, listen, the Waleed Cope is on with us, so make sure you take advantage of that. Going to be great. Listen, in case you don't know, I'm Jordan with Laundromat Resource, and we are here. Waleed Cope, the laundry CEO, and I are here to chat all things laundromat with you. Super excited about it. If you've got topics you want to discuss, throw them in the chat. If you've got questions you want answers to, you have got the Waleed Cope right here with you and for you to answer questions. And we're just here because we like talking laundry, and we did it last week when we recorded for this week's podcast episode. We turned this one around quick. And we said, you know what? One time in 1 week is not good enough. Let's talk 2 times in 2 weeks about laundromats. And here we are. So Waleed, as people are jumping in here, and while Waleed kind of introduces himself and says hey and everything, put in the chat where you're chiming in from. Texas F-250. I'm really curious where you're chiming in from. But Waleed, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good to see you again. So it's always a pleasure to talk laundry. Just over here.
Yeah, likewise.
Just working, washing clothes.
Washing clothes, living the laundream. How about that? The laundream. Yeah. In fact, there's a buddy of mine. His laundry brand is Laundream. So
that's pretty cool.
He's living the laundream over there, for sure. Well, hey, welcome to everybody here. This is so funny. The very first question that rolls in is Waleed and I were talking about this, about his first podcast episode 69 of the podcast, where he was like, one of the things people reach out to me the most about is these sock bands. And the first question, Jake is coming out strong with the sock bands question. So listen, let's kick it off with the sock bands question. Then we can jump into some other stuff. But Jake wants to know, where do you get these legendary? Oh, actually, first of all, before you answer that question, why don't you tell people what these sock bands are, just in case they have not heard your episode, and then maybe you can answer that question, or where you get them.
I mean, it's super simple. Just think about when you buy socks in the store. How are they packaged? What they look like? They have that paper strap around them. Sometimes a piece of cardboard, and makes them look neat. Great presentation. So we just replicated that. We get them custom printed online. We could throw the information out there later on. It's super simple. You customize it, they print them, and you get them for like a couple cents. You just take them, you could wrap it around the socks after you fold them, tape it, or staple it. It's super simple, and it gives it a great presentation.
Yeah, dude, the sock bands for the win, man. That was like that thrust you into the limelight of the industry.
That was like the first thing like we kind of dropped in. People were like, what? You'd be surprised though. Like people who like them and they give feedback that their clients like them. But there was, quite a few people that was putting some comments was not liking them. They was like, oh, it's a waste. Don't do it. The money.
Yeah.
I mean, it costs depending on how many you order, it's like less than a penny. But I got some backlash on it, but we keep doing it. Our clients love it. And I knew it was a hit. The first time we were doing it, and a client took a picture of their socks and posted it on their Instagram. And I was like, that's it. I'm not stopping it.
I'm sold. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't care what anybody says. If the customer took a photo and put it on their personal Instagram and was like, look how my laundry service packages my socks, they're like brand new. This is exactly what they said. I was like, we're sticking with it.
Dude. Yeah. I mean, listen, for a penny, or even if it was a nickel or a dime or whatever for these sock straps, if you can get customers to post on their social, that's like free advertising and like the best kind possible there.
Yeah. People, we get confused, or we just neglect the effect we can have on the client. And a lot of this game, if you think about it, is psychological. Like, name one thing that's proprietary about doing wash and fold.
Nothing. There ain't nothing's proprietary about it.
Right. So if you open up in Hawaii, I get on a plane and come out there. What's to stop me from opening right across the street from you and delivering the same or better service?
I'll tell you what's stopping you. It's this right here. See that?
Oh, wow.
You don't want to tango with that. So I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, I mean, it's true, right? It's like, there ain't no secrets in this industry. There ain't nothing proprietary about it. Man, it's like, it's execution, right? It's like anything. Like, ideas are cheap these days. Information is cheap these days. It's execution. That's where things are won and lost. And when you can find touches like sock bands that, no pun intended, knock the socks off your customers. Okay, the pun was intended. But, like, dang, man, like, go for it. But you got to execute on it, right? Got to execute on it.
That's it. It's just little things like that. Huge difference.
I love it. Well, hey, welcome, Amy. Amy chimed in first with an aloha, and she's in San Diego. She's been on the podcast. Make sure you check her episode out too. But she's heading out to Hawaii in November to come hang out with me at the Laundromat Accelerator Hawaii. So we're super excited about that. Do that. And then welcome Jake too. This is a great time to mention, and I'll kind of mention it throughout here, and I'll drop a link here in the chat in a second. But listen, Waleed has got the event of all events coming up in a few weeks here. It's coming up quick, man.
October 5th.
It's coming up real quick.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, the Laundry CEO Forum is happening in like 2.5 weeks here in Dallas. And if you're not signed up to go to that, you should make time to sign up and go to that for sure. I'll drop a link just in case you want to get more information.
There's going to be a lot of great.
Real quick, this is not meant to be like a commercial for anything really, but I would love for you to like tell us a little bit about Laundry CEO Forum, and then we'll jump back into some questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, because the chat is, I can't see it good from where I'm sitting, but it looks like it's quite a few questions. And
yeah, there's questions coming in for sure.
I think Jake asked, so the bands come in different sizes. You could get them made in different sizes because they're customizable, but we just get one size, and then we wrap as many socks as they can fit in that one band. And we fold them over and we match them, and then we wrap them with the strap. So just to answer that question, Jake. So the forum, listen, we created it out of the love for the industry, hanging out with our people in the industry. There's tons of events that, I shouldn't say tons, but there are events that go on throughout the year. And each one of them specializes in something different. And we took a step back. We listened to people talking, different calls I have with owners, operators at networking events. They're like, hey, what's next? Like, I've reached a certain point in my business and I'm trying to figure out, how do I get past this plateau I'm at? So we put our heads together with some other operators, owners, some investors, even distributors, suppliers, and just was like, what's going on in your business? Ask them. And we came up with the idea of doing the forum. And it's more about the business of laundry, right? So we can talk about how to do laundry, we can talk about sock bands, but how many conversations do we really have deep dive into like strategies about multi-locations, right? Or expanding and pickup and delivery, financing, talking about taxes, talking about the mathematics behind price and wash and fold. Like, we'll talk about it in these forums online or Facebook groups, but it's kind of like high level. Somebody's like, I do this, I do that. And then the other part of the forum is we bring people from outside of our industry who are successful in their fields, and we take things from those fields and we apply it to the laundry business. And that's one of the things that made us kind of stand out, be different in our markets. And now that I'm back in self-service, we're applying those same principles to our store now that we've had open for a year now. And we're more than happy. We've broken every goal we've set for that store so far. And we just want to share what successful people are doing in their respective industries and bring them to the stage and bring them to the workshops, bring them to the small groups at the forum.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. I've said this many a times already. People are probably getting sick of hearing me say it, but last year's Laundry CEO Forum, probably the best laundry event I've been to, definitely. And this year,
it's going to be better than last year, Jordan.
Nothing less. There's a bunch of people saying, "Hey, can't wait. They're coming." Sarah, I'm assuming that's Sarah Mackin. Is that you, Sarah Mackin? Heard it tell in the little thumbnail. And Ben, I think that's Ben Hong.
Oh, Ben, yeah.
Over there too.
Sarah too. Nick.
Yeah. Yeah. So welcome, guys. And Derek from Indiana, welcome. And Sanai, who's also hanging out with me in Hawaii in November over there. So looking forward to that too. Awesome. Thank you for kind of sharing that. I know that was not part of the plan of this, but I also just wanted to give you some time to say that. I'm going to butcher this name and I'm going to just apologize right up front. But Saadzoy from LA, best way to find a laundromat, over 90% listed on Biz Buy Sell. The brokers do not respond. You got anything to say about that? I can chime in on it, but I'd love to give you the floor too.
So we just picked up a store, I don't know, a couple of months ago, 20 plus years, been in the community, been neglected. We'll just leave it at that, right? The owner is working, but just can't get it to where it used to be. And one of the things we did is we just went by. And just not be all salesy or bugging people about it. You could call, you could email, you can mail letters. So the question is, how many other people are doing it? Like, we legitimately just went by there one day. Actually, my brother went by and saw the owner there and just started having a genuine conversation with him. One thing led to another. We started talking. We had a couple phone calls. Next thing you know, we were drafting paperwork and doing a deal.
Yeah.
Just be real.
Well, yeah, I love that. And I mean, I think that is, especially if you're like a first time owner, if you're younger, you know, if you can go in and kind of build the relationship with owners, you've got a much better chance of landing those laundromats if they know you and like you and they come time to, they want to sell. It's the time to sell. I do have a couple listings. Also, I'm a broker in California and LA. I got a couple listings. So shoot me an email, jordan@laundromatresource.com. Ross Dodds, I believe that's Ross Dodds. It says Ross. I'm assuming that's Ross Dodds, who is a legend as well, says Scott Steinberg, who's a great dude. One of the few brokers that I know in the LA area that I would list my laundromat with. He's a good dude. And Debbie Escalante there. But here's the real answer, in my opinion. And this is coming from somebody who is, I go out and I have a team. We go out and look for laundromats for clients. Like, that's what we do. And we go find them. Here's what I've learned. And again, ideas, cheap, information, free. So I'm going to give it to you right now. It's all in the execution. And if you're in LA, New York, a bigger market like that, this goes double for you, is you have got to just put in way more reps than you're probably putting in. I'll tell you a little bit about what we do. When we go out looking for a laundromat for a client, we put together a list of every single laundromat specific broker and small business broker that we can find in the areas that we're looking for. We have a spreadsheet full of them and their contact information, emails, phone numbers, all that. Every broker, and in LA, we've got a list of like 60 plus brokers. Every broker gets 2 touches a week from us. Whether that's an email, a phone call, a text message, they all get 2 touches a month from us. So listen, if you're saying, hey, brokers aren't getting back to you, the reason for it is, number one, they don't really need more buyers. They have buyers. They don't need more. And number 2, there's people like me going out there who are hogging all the attention. Squeaky wheel gets the oil, put that on steroids. And that helps you find locations quicker. Number 2, is we go directly to owners, and I hear a lot like, hey, direct mail marketing doesn't work, or I send a letter and I didn't really hear anything back. We send letters to every laundromat in the area that we're looking for. So in LA, that could be hundreds. And we don't just do it one time. Every laundromat when we're looking is on a drip system where we mail them multiple times ongoing until we find the deal that we're looking for. And then obviously you can scour online. Don't just look at, Biz Buy Sell. You got Biz Buy Sell. You've got LoopNet. You've got CoStar if you can get access to that. You've got Facebook Marketplace. You've got Craigslist. And on and on and on, right? You just can't look where everybody looks. Everybody looks at Biz Buy Sell. I can look in LA from Hawaii right here while sitting, on the beach in my Speedo and find a laundromat deal. So can you. If anybody can do it, you're probably not going to find the deal that way. I'm not saying that you won't, but you probably won't. I'm probably going to snag it in my Speedo on the beach in Hawaii here. So you got to up your game here. Go visit more laundromats. You can't just go visit 1 or 2 laundromats. You got to go visit 50 laundromats. And so, listen, there's lots of ways to do it, but really, it's probably mostly a volume game. You probably know what to do. You just got to do way more of it. And especially if you're in a market like LA, New York, New Jersey, some of these bigger markets there. So hopefully that helps. All right. Ben says, you want to add something? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you touched on good points. I would say besides the obvious, people start getting creative. Like, there's some other things you could do that, we've done that we've gotten attention. The broker and going directly to the owner, especially if it's your first store, you're not going to have the chops yet for a broker to put you at the top of the list. It's like Jordan mentioned, be the squeaky wheel gets the oil. But a lot of times with brokers, Jordan, you're a broker, you're in the real estate game. I used to sell real estate. You're going to kind of lean to the people going to close that deal fast because the broker wants to get the deal done for numerous reasons.
Yep.
Right? It's not just about the commission. So you got to start thinking about other ways you can reach people, some unconventional ways. Hit me up if you want to talk about this. I'm not going to share them all here, but just think different.
Or better yet, go to the Laundry CEO forum and get all the insights.
Well, yeah, there'll be unfiltered conversations at this event. And that's one thing about it. It's like a totally open, like, safe space for people to have candid discussion about strategies, numbers, etc. What you were saying, Ben was saying something.
Yeah. So another question. Ben said, when buying an older laundromat, and feel free, by the way, I know Waleed and I are doing this Q&A, but there's some other heavy hitters in the chat there. So feel free to chime in there in the chat if you got some input. So when buying an older laundromat, what are the biggest mistakes new owners make during renovations and equipment upgrades? Great question. Got anything on that?
Biggest mistake during a renovation? Not digging deep enough. Like, look at the sewer lines, like, camera them, go through them, checking the electrical thoroughly. What's some other? Anytime you take the owner's word on something, without verifying, it's a mistake. Like, trust but verify. I'm trying to think of like some real big ones. To me, I look at all of it like it's got to be done. A bigger mistake, a bad lease. Like, not checking the lease, not getting all the details. Yep. And these are like common things that people talk about all the time. I don't know, what else you got? What you got, Jordan?
I got one that I actually see this more often than I would have expected to, but I think, and I'm curious how you feel about this, but I think actually underdoing it is a pretty common, like under renovating, not getting equipment when you really should, or trying to go, used when you should go new. I'm not saying there's not a place for used equipment. There is for sure. But I think trying not thinking through, like one thing I think you do really well, and Ross does this very well too, is thinking holistically about what's the experience I want the customers to have, and having a strategy and a plan directly towards that, right? When we go willy-nilly and we say, hey, I don't know, maybe I'll throw paint on, I won't do floors for another, 2 years. Sometimes you just have to make those decisions. Like you have to, because you literally can't afford it or whatever. That I get that. But if you can have a holistic plan and then renovate and retool towards that plan and stay focused on that plan, I just think the experience that you're going to have and that your customers are going to have are going to be so much better with that. And I think you do that very well, thinking through the whole customer experience and then building, retooling, equipping towards that goal.
Yeah, you bring a good point and make me think about it, which is I'm glad why I have a partner in the business. Like when I look at things, I kind of tend to be over analytical with the business. Like I want things to be turn the screw just the right way, the tiles lined up perfect, every angle, 100%. And when you say that, I think one of the mistakes people make is they overbuild, right? And you said it, they don't build the store to the customer, right? AKA the client. They end up overdoing it. We talked about this in the podcast last week. They build the store for them because they're focused on their dream, like the business they want, not what's going to serve it. So they end up buying all this stuff, going over the top, and don't even use it, or it doesn't even really have a big impact on the client. I did that really early. And I'm grateful. Like my brother, I go to do it sometime and he'll be like, nope, what about this? And I'm like, you're right. Or vice versa. He'll say something and I'll be like, hey, what about this? How's that really going to impact the client? So that's I would say a big mistake that people make sometimes.
Yeah. And I think that makes a really strong case, especially if you're doing this on your own or even just with a spouse only of, that's been one of the huge benefits of having mastermind groups is having some outside people to say, hey, are you thinking about this? Just other perspective. I tend to be the kind of person who just feels like I know what I need to do and, everybody else is wrong. Right.
Here's the other mistake.
But having those, yeah.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Sorry. I just thought of something.
No, I was just going to say like other people's opinions can be super valuable. And it's why I pay a lot of money every year to be in groups with people who are thinking on a higher level like that. Cause I value their input. I see the value in it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Here's one mistake people don't make. They do make. Because we've all been made lazy by the internet and these devices, right? I'm reading comments right now because I can't see them on my computer from where I'm sitting. Right? So this is the one time technology's helped me. But think about this, Jordan. When you talk with your clients and you do consultations, how many of them really tell you about the time they've spent in a store that they're considering buying or they're under contract?
Yeah. Not enough.
Not enough, right? We're looking at another location. We just nixed the deal. It's 4.5 hours away from where I am, where I technically reside. And I went there for the weekend. And I was in that store at 7 a.m. when they opened and was there till about 6:30 p.m. In the store doing laundry, going out in the parking lot, count how many people coming, looking at the machines, how many times they're spinning, what people are saying. I sat near the front so I could hear them talking at the counter. I watched the employees. I watched the owner come in and out. All that. People don't spend enough store time. They don't do enough homework. That's the biggest mistake.
Huge. Period. Right there, as the kids would say. Period. Period, queen. That's what my daughter says. I don't know.
All right, we got to move fast.
We got a bunch of questions, man. I know. They're like rolling in quick here. I know. Okay, so Vinucci says, is there a benchmark percentage of population? Oh, no, the chat just went up. You guys are putting them in there. Is there an industry benchmark percentage of population in a dense, small urban town that would subscribe to Fluff and Fold? Thanks, guys. Aloha, Jordan. Aloha. That would be. This is why I'm talking. Like, we need to start sharing. So we went off on this a little bit. We need to start collaborating some of our data points, because there, to my knowledge, there isn't a percentage of population that would subscribe to Fluff and Fold. I don't know if you know something that I don't know.
Listen, we just had this talk.
A lot. It depends.
First of all, I got to go back to the chat before I say anything on that. Ben just put, he got kicked out of a laundromat that he's scoping out the other day. My man, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's putting in the homework. He got kicked out.
Yeah.
But
welcome to the club, by the way.
Say that again?
I said, welcome to the club, by the way. I got kicked out of so many laundromats. Yeah.
Yeah. I take laundry with me, but it's just not enough to do for 7 hours.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. The wash and fold, man. Listen, we do wash and fold. I believe in it. The other day we were on a podcast, I said I'm still bullish on it. Well, I really should have said I'm a little bearish on it right now, just because of all the reasons we talked about, all the people coming into it, all these. I just saw another platform pop up. I was on one of the communities, and I won't say the name. And then I got an email today to one of our general emails for the business. And they're like, hey, we're this platform. We connect people who want to do laundry with laundromats, et cetera, et cetera. It's a lot of that coming. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at a certain percentage to figure out wash and fold or pick up and deliver in the area, man, I don't know. I'll look at the demographics, looking at income, and I hear other people say it. I hear distributors say it, and I think it's kind of a guessing game right now. It's an educated guess. They're like, if they make X amount of income, they've got more disposable income. I don't know if that's the case anymore. This economy is really wacky right now. Like, there's a lot of going on in the political climate, the economic climate. The Fed just lowered the rate, but the Fed was getting a lot of pressure to lower the rate. So it's so many things going on. So if you think people have disposable income, do they really? It's not the same benchmarks we had before. You got to be careful with that.
Yeah. I mean, you're dead on, right? Like, I look at a lot of who's like using Uber, who's doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily people with disposable income always doing it. It's just people who don't want to go, they just choose to spend their money that way. They just don't want to go do the thing. They don't want to go get the food. So they just have it here. And so, it's not necessarily only people with disposable income using it either. So that's what makes it tough, right? And we've got subcultures all over the country as well. And there's different businesses. Like, maybe it's not going to be a strong residential pickup and delivery or drop off, but maybe it's a strong one because you got a lot of short-term rentals or small businesses that would utilize the service, right? So that's where you just got to go do the homework. And one thing that I recommend is, like, if you're thinking about starting it, start it and try to get some proof of concept, right? Like, you don't have to launch a full-fledged business to be able to do it. You can just see, like, hey, if I run a few ads, it doesn't have to be a lot, like $100 or maybe even not that, and see if anybody orders. And, worst case scenario, you got to go pick up, a handful of orders on your own and do them and bring them back. And you decide, okay, there's enough business or there's not enough business, right? So go do some research if you don't know for your particular community.
It's so much to say. We only got an hour.
I know. Okay, let me keep rolling here. All right. Ben says, where do you see this is all you, brother. Where do you see the biggest opportunities in the next 3 to 5 years for laundromat owners?
Customer service, Ben. I don't care if you got a 1,000 square foot store or you got a 10,000 square foot store. It's all customer service. Nothing proprietary. You could buy this machine. I could buy the same machine. Your competitors can buy the same machine. You could do pickup and delivery. They can do pickup and delivery. The question is, how are you going to treat the people that come in your store? I see owners, especially when I go to stores like undercover, hanging out, I see them look annoyed when people come in and ask them questions about their laundromat. Like, what size machine is this? How do I use this? Do you sell this? Could you help me with this? Annoyed. Are you kidding me? Annoyed? People come and ask me questions. I'm like, that's an opportunity to build that relationship with them, to have that touch point, to make them want to come back. I have people who come to one of our stores who work at other laundromats, and their boss gives them free laundry, and they still come wait in line to use a machine at our store. Our machines are no better. The service. Biggest opportunity, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to disagree with that. And I'll say too, I actually got in a debate on LinkedIn with kind of an old timer, super knowledgeable guy in the industry, but a little bit of the old school mentality. And he was kind of making a counter argument. I'm actually curious to what you would say to this, but he was basically saying, hey, most stores in America are still smaller. They're still unattended or partially attended. You know, customer service is not that important for those stores. Maybe they're in the rural America or whatever. And his point was, he thinks customer service is not that important. It's more geared towards these larger laundry centers that we're seeing popping up everywhere. Got any thoughts on that?
Totally. Well, hold up. Let's be clear here too. Because when we talk about the United States and laundromats in different areas, we must respect that every market has different dynamics.
Totally.
There's no mistake about that. So when we talk about money, we talk about turns, etc., there are different dynamics for every market that we have to take into account. No two markets are the same. But if we're talking percentage, when we start talking about revenue and things of that nature, that we can look across the board. So I always want to put that out there first, because every market has its own nuances and people are different. But I will disagree with service. I don't care where you are in the United States. People want good service. Because let's talk about if you're in a rural area, you're in the suburbs, you're in a densely populated area or a sparse populated area, right? When people go to get food at a restaurant or some establishment, they're all concerned about the service they get. Why is Yelp all over the United States and probably in other places, countries too, right? It doesn't matter. You go to Yelp, you could look at a restaurant in the city, you could look at a restaurant in a small town, right? I went to school in St. Paul's, Virginia. Recently had to go back not too long ago because one of my relatives passed away and she was from this town. I think they said 1,000 people live in this town. 1,000. 1,000. I can't fathom that. Like, I feel like 1,000 people live on my block here in New York. Right?
They probably do.
Right. I think there are 2 or 3 restaurants. And I went to school there. I remember there was an Italian restaurant called Pino's. I will never forget it. And we would go there and we'd get subs all the time. And they treated us like we were gods. And we were freshmen, sophomores in college. Half of them was bouncing checks anyway in this restaurant, right? And they still treated us like gods. Right? There was another restaurant we went there during the service, and the lady's restaurant was closed at the hours we were there for the burial. She opened the restaurant just for our family to come and eat there after the burial service. I will never forget that. So if somebody says they have a self-service laundromat and they don't believe service is important, show me their demographics and show me it's a good area, and I'll open a store across the street from them. And then we will see if service is what people want. I guarantee you, our latest store, ladies and gentlemen, does 10 plus turns a day. And we have 6 other laundromats right on the same strip as us. People drive past those stores to come to us. You know what they tell us? We love the way you treat us. We love the way you keep the store. We love the way your team members are happy in the things you do here. And somebody had a question about promotions and different events that we need to get to in the chat. That ties right into that. Right? Service is so important. Could you run a store that's self-service, that's unattended? 110%. People are doing it. I'm willing to bet, though, if somebody opened a store that was fully attended and gave good service, they would beat that store. Hands down.
Can't argue with you. I mean, that was beautiful. I will
over.
say too, though.
Bye.
Yeah, listen, yeah, exactly. Period. Get to work. Start, like if you do nothing else, like, listen, go up your customer service game.
And let's be clear. You could still have good customer service with a self-service store. I know people that do it.
Yeah.
Right? This whole fully attended first sell, like I know people who have remote systems in their store. People can pick up a intercom, hit a button, or there's a number they can call right away. They can text, and somebody's monitoring that communication the whole time the store is open. I know stores that are unattended, and the owner has someone sitting in a room with a bunch of computer monitors watching the cameras in all his stores, and all the phones ring there, like a dispatcher, like an operator. They all ring there, and that person is sitting there. It's like a command center. Customer service. Don't get me started.
It's too late already. And by the way, if you've got a question, you want to get it answered, you better get it in now, because at this pace, we're not going to hit all the questions. But
what was the episode you did with Nicholas? And he was talking about the AI.
Yeah.
Right? The technology is a form of customer service.
Yep.
So he used that to bridge the gap to get him the information really quick to be able to service the power company. That's a huge win. Huge. Form of customer service.
Yeah, massive. Yeah, massive. And I guess the point I was going to hit is if you are unattended, and there are laundromats that just can't support attended, that are in a small area or whatever. Am I frozen?
I think it's me.
I don't know. My internet's been shaky. Yeah, unreasonable hospitality. Bob's nailing it in the chat there. But listen, even if you're not there, there's ways you can serve your customers better all day, every day. So be thinking about that. Even if you're an unattended store. Hey, Stuart, showing up too. Welcome, man, from down under. Okay. Waleed, you there, or am I there?
I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know if it's your camera, your internet, my internet. I don't know. Okay, Ben said it to you, dude. Okay, we're cool. As long as we can hear you. I mean, obviously we want to see your face, but as long as we can hear you, we're good. Okay, so Derek is jumping in with a great question. Always trying to be the best we can be. What are the top 3 benchmarks and KPIs which should be tracking for self-serve and wash and fold pickup and delivery? You got any input on that? I got some input on that, but got anything to say on that? Okay. Yes. Yeah. Real quick, everybody, I just want to make sure you can hear Waleed if you can't see him. And Waleed, I got a message that said you should refresh your browser. I don't know. You might have to jump out and jump back in. Oh, he gone. He's like, say no more. We'll get his take on the benchmarks too, but I think he's dead on in terms of like knowing what you're aiming at and what your goal is critical. Just for to give you some actual. Well, can you hear us now?
Can you still hear me?
I can hear you. I still can't see you, but I can still hear you. So I'm assuming everybody else can. Okay, you can hear him. Okay, cool. Good. Just to give you, I was just saying, like, I think you're dead on in terms of aligning your goals with what you're tracking. Track what's most important to you to help you hit your goals. Did you have anything else to say there?
That's the biggest
I didn't want
thing.
to cut you off.
I mean, we could talk about so many different KPIs. What do you want to accomplish? Start with that. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
You got 2 or 3 KPIs on the dashboard that you track. That's going to get you way further than building some crazy dashboard with 20, 30 KPIs and you're just getting information overload.
Yeah, agree. Just kind of give you some examples of things that you can track that might be helpful is, obviously like you want to be tracking your revenue and your profit. That profit, not the revenue, but the profit is the bottom line, right? That's the KPI for most of us, for our businesses, right? We want to know how much money we're making. But you can be tracking, CAC, which is cost to acquire a customer, right? Customer lifetime value. You can be tracking that. You can be tracking how often customers are ordering. You can be tracking, for wash and fold, pick and delivery, you can be tracking for your employees, average pounds processed per hour. So there's, again, depending on what your goals are and what you're trying to accomplish in your business, pick a couple. And Waleed hit it too. Like, don't pick too many, but pick a couple that you want to be tracking that are most important. And I think the key is like, what are the things that are going to most help you achieve the goals that you set up? Track that. There's lots of things that you can track. Waleed said that exactly. But pick the things that are the highest leverage points, the things that are most going to help you accomplish whatever the goals are you have for yourself. So Derek, hopefully that helps you out there. We've got a whole bunch of things that we track with our clients that we work with in terms of KPIs. But really what we're trying to do is help them figure out what's the most important things. And the other thing I'll say on the self-serve is it gets much easier if you're using a digital payment system we do need an industry purpose CRM platform. I agree with that 100%. It gets much easier. There he is. It's like a breath of fresh air, man. Your face pops on. I'm like, I just feel better, Yeah. So anyways, I was just saying, I don't even know what I was saying. Well, Derek, hopefully that's helpful for you on the KPI talk. Yeah. Just pick the right ones. All right. So Grandma P coming in the chat. We want to help you out here. Hello, I'm from Virginia. Wash and fold service has been discontinued. A few of the customers are elderly with urinated clothes. Just started wash and fold a few months ago using Urine Be Gone odor ban. Help. Grandma P, we would love to help you out. What do you need help with? Let us know in the chat. Give us some specific questions you got. We'd love to help you out there. And that's a great service that you're providing for those elderly customers and probably other people as well. So let us know what you need help with. We'd love to do it. Zach Plove has got a question for you, Waleed. Do you host any community? Oh, no. Do you host any community events? It keeps scrolling down to the bottom anytime somebody chats. Community events at your locations, or he said right below that, not necessarily host, or take part in, such as parades, local government, et cetera, et cetera. Are you guys doing anything community based?
But we do it all local at the store. So this is probably going to buck every trend or the talk that goes on. So be it. One, we do zero advertising at the store. Zero. We take all that effort and we take that same money and we focus it on the community and the clients. So one thing we do is we do free laundry day. And Laundry Kids does it. They come in and do a phenomenal job. I did one at Steve and Sharon's store in Wichita, Kansas. So it was a phenomenal event. We do it locally. We find a partner and we do a co-branding with them and us. And for X amount of time, on X day, they get free laundry. And then that partner gets to bring in whatever their product or services. We let them set a table up and we promote them and the fact that they're sponsoring this free laundry day. And then we do different activities along with that free laundry day, whether it's stuff for the children, books, drawing, coloring, food, and anything educational that ties into the service or product that that partner has. And we do that. And we do them on a consistent basis. So typically it's like once every quarter. or 2 months, depending on the partner and what's going on. And the key, the people love it. It's a great way to connect with people. The store is super busy. And the other part is we lose zero revenue because the partner is paying for the laundry to get done on that free laundry day.
Love it. I love it. Well, and again, like, I don't want to keep harping on this, but the reason you guys do this is part of your overall plan, right? Of how you want to engage with your customer base. And again, like, you could do a free laundry day, but if you just do a free laundry day willy-nilly and it's not aligning with all the other things, that of how you want your customers to experience you, it's not going to be nearly as effective as if you can kind of think through, like, here's our vision for our business. And it can feel a little funny because, like, hey, we're just laundromats, right? But listen, I say this all the time, like, we have an opportunity to make a big difference in the community, right? So if we have a vision for how we want to run our laundromat and how we want customers to experience our laundromat, and then we build out our strategy within that vision and those values, that's where you can supercharge things. That's where that's where you're starting to hit 10 turns a day, right? Which is insane, by the way. Don't count on that when you're buying a laundromat. You got to go make that happen. That doesn't just happen on its own, right? Yeah, but that's the power of what you're doing.
Right, but I say it so people can, like, think about this, Jordan. We talked about this before. You mentioned masterminds. Oh, I think my video just went out again.
I hear you though.
Okay, good. As long as you hear me. You talked about masterminds before. You talked about GoBundance, like the mindset of being in these different places. For some reason, we have developed a certain mindset in this industry that blows me away. And it's always from a place of lack or negativity. The customer doesn't want this. The customer won't appreciate that. You don't need to do that in your store because it's not going to get you a good return, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That mindset is why some stores don't do a higher turn, don't make more revenue, right? And we talked about this earlier. I get it. There are certain economics, there are certain demographics that will affect.
Seeing a theme here. I'm seeing a theme here. Waleed, he just mic dropped us and left right there. He's just like, I'm out. That's it. Nick, what up, laundry fools? There it is. All you laundry fools. What's going on, Nick? Welcome. All right, we'll jump into the next one. Actually, I'm not even sure, Trevor, and maybe you can clarify this. You said, do you remodel, retool, and sell in a year or 3, or sell as is and take the lower multiple? I'm assuming you're talking about if you're flipping a store, but I'm not positive on that. So maybe you can clarify that. But there's viable models either way, either flipping and selling the lower multiple, or, running it, getting a proven track record and selling at a higher multiple. The one thing I would say is that if you're looking to flip, probably real estate is a better place to do it most of the time, because the don't make us heavy, because you can build equity faster in real estate than you can with the laundromats because of our multiples, the way that we're valued. So I don't know, just my 2 cents. You can still flip laundromats. So I know people who do it and make good money doing it. Okay. Yeah, dude, with those multiples going, but even still, real estate multiples tend to be higher, or equity can build faster. All right. I don't know what you said, but Village said amen to you, Waleed. Get creative. Oh yeah, getting creative on things. Okay. Oh, in inspections, would you, I don't know why it keeps going down to the bottom every time somebody puts something in the chat. Stop chatting so much, chat. Would you check gas pressure when you're doing, research on the laundromat? You said gas pressure. Both. Yeah. Check it all, man. Check it all. You want to know what you're getting. We have an unofficial, or one of our values is clarity in our team at Laundromat Resource, right? Clarity. And that's partly in like how we deal with our customers, but also for our clients, we want them to have clarity on what they're buying before they own it, right? No big surprises is our unofficial motto over there. So we want you to have as good an understanding of that business as possible before it becomes yours. So yeah, check it all. Waleed, I think he's just trying to get his camera rolling. Yeah, Amy is talking about bigger equipment. Yeah, she said she's happy she bought 2 85-pounders. She grappled with getting only one and got 2. Customers love the big machines. Yeah, let the customers, Super says, let the customers tell you what they want by their actions. So check the cameras during that due diligence period. And Trevor said, hey, look at turns per day per machine, which machines people are using. And if you're retooling, use that data to help you decide what to buy. I love it. Sorry, I just keep having to scroll back up. Oh, he's back with the camera. I love it. I don't know if it's computer. I don't know. It's technology, man. Okay. Yeah. Super said, take a laundry cart to the car for an elderly lady to bring in their laundry and you'll have a customer for life. It's all about service. Yeah.
Service doing you fully attended and you're not carrying bags to the car? What are you doing?
And from the car. Yeah. Into the store and back out. Yeah. I love it. I love it. Okay. If I missed any of your questions, I'm still scrolling, but if I missed any of your questions, put them back in the chat because this thing is wigging out on me. Service. Oh yeah, people are saying, hey, service, then food. Okay. All right, so here's a question. Bob said, if you had to choose between an automatic door, payment systems, or pickup and delivery workshop, which would you do first? All right, so you got set budget. You can only choose, get an automatic door. These are like wildly different, which is crazy. Automatic door, a payment system, or go to a pickup and delivery workshop. Which would you do first? I mean, listen, probably Laundry CEO Forum is the place to invest it.
What'd you say, Jordan?
Like I said, probably going to the Laundry CEO Forum is the place to invest it. Or if you really want to, come hang out with me in Hawaii. But going back to it, okay. Automatic door, payment system, or go to a pickup and delivery workshop.
Depends what payment system it is.
Oh, okay.
Because
do you want to elaborate?
There's different nuances to the payment system, right? And there's certain things you can get from some payment systems that you can't get from others, AKA the data. So depending on the payment system, I might choose that versus going to automatic doors, like bump that up. That's off the list. It's either going to a workshop.
Oh, Stuart, you're out, dude. You lose. Automatic doors are out. Stuart said automatic doors. He's got like a bunch of locations in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah. You guys are upside down anyways. So whatever.
Jordan said it, not me.
No, Stuart's great. I love that guy.
Yeah, I would probably get the payment system, use that, use the data I get from it, depending on which one it is, to really double down on marketing to the customers to keep them sticky. Forget the float. People are going to talk about the float. Forget the float. Okay? You don't want to base your business, and I'm sure I'm going to get in trouble for this, but so be it. I'm sticking to 100%. My morals. Don't base your business on how much money people are going to leave on their cards. Or I hear people tell, oh, well, yeah, I got 30, 40,000 just on the float. Whatever, right? I don't build a business on people's misfortune. Think about the bank making money if your account gets overdrawn or charging you fees, right? Nothing wrong with that if that's your business model. God bless you. I'm talking about building, using a payment system to keep people stuck to your business, to keep them coming back. Get that information, market to them, make them feel appreciated, thank them for coming. Look at how many times they visit and be like, holy smokes, Grandma Sally has been in my store 10 times in the past 30 days. When she comes in next week, here's a gift basket waiting for her because I'm using the data in my payment system to track it, which you can't do with quarters. And trust me, I had quarters all my life up into 2015 in my dad's stores.
Yeah. All right. Well, I love that. And I also kind of think it depends a little bit. But I mean, Ross, I might agree with Ross too. Ross says, hey, go to the event because you're going to get a ton of value out of that. Hopefully, if it's Laundry CEO Forum, for sure. If you come hang out with Hawaii, you're going to get a ton of value and a tan. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But
is my second.
Yeah, he said, go to the event and then finance the payment system and go for it.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And it does depend on which system you're looking at too. There's a couple different categories of system, I would say.
Right.
So it does depend on which system. But if you're going to get a digital payment system, I would just say, hey, make sure it's got good reporting for you, because that data is even more important than the ability for your customers to pay digitally. I would say it's even more. I would rather have a coin system if I had all the data I could get with a card or a system of some sort. I'd rather have the coins and have the data than have the ability to pay cards and no data. So the data is, I would say, even more valuable. That's probably controversial, but I would say that is the case.
The data is more
although
valuable.
I think both are important. Yeah, I think so.
Like, let's stick with that. I'm backing you up 110%.
All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate
now, think about this, right? And we talked about this when we was at Dave conference years ago.
Yeah.
If you're doing pickup and delivery, think about this. You have a location that you're doing pickup and delivery, and something happens to the location, right? God forbid, you have a fire. You could literally log into your computer, change the address for where the pickup and delivery goes if you're using the gig economy. If you have your own drivers, you don't have to do anything. And you could still operate like nothing happened. The clients don't know. All they know is you show up, pick up their clothes, bring it somewhere, and bring it back to them clean and fresh, smelling like sunshine. They don't know. The data is super important.
Super important. Yeah, but we got your silky smooth voice, man, and that's
it.
That's good.
We going all
there's an interesting conversation happening in the chat right now, which I think is really good. And Sadzoy, we'll get to your question too in a second. And Stuart, clarify. I don't remember what part we were talking. Stuart said, "What type of partners did you partner with?" Can you just clarify what we were talking about, just so I have clarity and can get them on that? But there's a conversation happening from Jesse with how do you decide between full cycle dry versus per quarter, quarters for minutes, basically. Ross has always been a proponent of full cycle dry, but I'm curious on your take on full cycle versus quarter. Oh, okay. He's working on the camera still. Amy also says full cycle all day, every day. Ross says you mostly only get, here, I'll put it on the screen too. You mostly only get pushback from those that are drying delicate or something that doesn't need a full 30 minutes. Everyone else just needs it. So just go after your customer. And again, I mean, that's kind of what Ross is saying is like, we're talking about full cycle versus quarters here. And kind of what Ross is saying again, like this is sort of the theme of this thing, but like, what's your overall plan here? What's the experience you want your customers to have? And, Ross is a full-on proponent. I know this for a fact. He's a full-on proponent of full cycle dry because of the way that he wants to engage with his customers, which I think is great. But do you have any thoughts on full cycle versus, Nick said, the voice is why we bought tickets to the Laundry CEO Forum.
Oh, in that case, I'm turning my camera off right now.
I buy it for the looks. I don't know. That's just for me.
I'll put you right
full
up
cycle
front,
versus. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I was going to bring binoculars just in case.
No. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll put you right up to the close to the stage. So full disclosure, I don't do full cycle, but I'm highly intrigued by it. And the store that we're working on, when it opens, it will have full cycle. I definitely want to. I've seen it in other stores. I've talked to owners about it. I'm highly intrigued, and I think there are quite a few benefits to it, as Ross mentioned in the chat.
Yeah, and I think too, like I think the big fear, and Ross, I mean, chime in on this too, and well, if you have anything to say, I think the big fear is like going from quarters for minutes to full cycle is scary for a lot of people. Because they're afraid of how the customers are going to respond to it, you know, and I'll say too, like Ross is in LA, and LA is pretty notorious for having a lot of free dry locations, which makes it even scarier. Yeah, Ross has 2 months of that data, and you'll never go back, Waleed. So listen, he's for it. But that transition is scary, right? That transition is scary for a lot of owners. I think that's why a lot of owners don't do it. And again, we don't have a lot of like hard data on that transition and how it goes for people.
Yeah. You know, you mentioned it's hard.
Yeah.
And some people don't want to do it. And I'm going to assume the 27 people that are in this live right now are a different mindset. You should be happy some things are hard in our business, because the hard is what keeps the other people out. So if you're having a tough time, like, and let me be clear, I'm getting my butt kicked on some projects we're working on. And I'm like, I wish this was easier. And then I stop. I said, wait a minute. I wish I was better. I don't want it to be easier, because that means my competitor who's opening down the road or thinking about getting into business, it's going to be easy for them to get in. Let them have barrier entry. Let it be harder. This business is really easy to get into. You need no education requirement. You need no special skill, no special certifications. You just need to be able to get financing, get somebody to approve you, get a landlord to like you, sign the lease, and get in there. There are people doing some deals with very little money. And I'm not talking about this guru stuff online, 30 days, 15 days, seller finance and all that. We all know about those things. I'm talking about legitimate.
It's getting faster all the time, by the way. It's going to be negative time here pretty soon.
15 days. Show me that deal.
Dude, I'll get after it. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm gonna just drop a, you know, if you want to get psyched up right now, anybody out there, I just drop a link for you. It's Jocko Willink, and he talks about, hey, it's hard, good. You know, if you haven't seen that clip, that's worth a watch. And that was right along what you were saying.
So Ben just put free dry, and Ross is like, hell to the no, free dry. Let me share a story with from you. We're looking at a location, and there's two competitors near where we're going to put this new location. And I was scouting out this store, and they have free dry. And at first I thought it was a promotion they had because they have cards. So I figured, they know it's a new card, so they make it free dry because it's my first time there. Come to find out, I asked the attendant, she's like, oh no, it's always free dry here. The store have free dry and low VIN prices. One of the reasons why we did not do the location, because how do you compete with someone with free dry and low VIN prices? And we talked about earlier, I was like, oh, Wally, you said good customer service and all that. Yeah, I get it. But when it comes to pure raw economics and people's psychological mindset, when it comes to that, you ain't beating that. You just not. And let me be clear. This store was not a top condition looking store. It wasn't a zombie mat. But the store needed a coat of paint. They need to fix some holes in the bathroom. They need to clean some stains off the wall. There was a lot of lint under the washers, in between the washers. They had an ozone system. There was lint all over the ozone system sitting on top of the shelf. It was bad. So free dry. No. For me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a highly debated topic. You go on the Facebook groups, forums, and all that stuff. It's highly debated. But, you know, it kind of goes back to what kind of customers you want to attract. If you're going to have free dry, you're going to attract the customers that are attracted to free dry. And that might be good for certain business models.
It might be.
And it's not good for Ross's. I'll tell you that right now. He's pretty passionate about that. And Amy said she changed a full cycle and got about 10 complaints, but mostly because they weren't reading how to add more time. Not so much that they wanted like a quarter for 5 minutes or whatever. So yeah, if you're clear, yeah. And Ross said top off is an option once you start the first cycle. So if you can make it so, it's $250 for a dryer, whatever the price point is, right? And if you want to add more time, you can add some quarters in to top it off there. Stuart's been dying to know on your free wash days, you said you partnered with companies to help pay for it and stuff. What kind of companies did you partner with?
Bunch. Free, I was going to say free. Healthcare companies, other local businesses, mid-sized.
Churches is one.
Non-for-profits.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing we saw with some of the non-for-profits. They need to make certain numbers to keep getting federal and state funding. And those numbers are them having contact with so many people. So they'll bring a table, set it up, and they're giving away like free products or what have you. And they have like a sign-in sheet or they'll have a tablet, and they're getting information from people to say, hey, give me your name, your address, your phone number, and or your email, and we'll send you some information about our services. And that counts towards their head count that they submit to whatever agency for them to keep getting funded. So I look at all those non-for-profits, healthcare, even some other businesses that are local. Like we partner with Dunkin' Donuts. We partner with, a local physician. It's a lot of financial services. So many. Get creative. Just because somebody else has said this is the only way to do it, I'm telling you, people don't believe it. Don't believe it. Do something different. What's the worst that can happen? It don't work? Okay.
Try something different.
Yeah, try something different. Like, don't overthink it.
Yeah, I love it. And, there's a lot of different companies you can partner with, like you said, like nonprofits, but also just, be thinking about who aligns with your mission, right? That's a little bit going back to the mission, right? Who aligns with your mission, and they're going to want to partner with you. A lot of nonprofits, government organizations, a lot of times, look for companies that need to spend money. There's companies that need to spend money on community outreach and stuff. And so providing an opportunity for them to partner with you and doing that, getting a little bit of their name out there while they're doing good in the community is super attractive.
Yeah. And listen, it doesn't always have to be about money. Like free dry is just one thing. We had a theater company who would come in at night and put on performances in our laundromat. So people were like, oh, Waleed, your customers in there. They would come at last wash and they would go in this section of the store and they do poetry, impromptu. They would film it. And it'd be like maybe 40, 50 people come. Then our clients that will self-service will be walking by and they see through the window, like, what's going on? Why are these people in the store late at night? They would come in and get caught up in it and be like, wow, this was great. Like, it doesn't always have to cost something for you or the other or the partner. Like, get creative.
I love it.
Take those lost socks that's in your store that people leave behind and do a puppet contest for little kids. Get some buttons, get some thread, some yarn, have them make sock puppets like in the kids' play area or make it a little workshop day. Like, there's so much stuff you could do. Man.
Wash the socks first.
So that, of course.
I love it. That's so fun, man. I love that. And here's the thing, right? Is one of the things that we work with a lot on people who are building their laundromat businesses is in order to think like this, to have like the capacity to do this. Like, I talk to so many owners who are just trying to keep their head above water, trying to keep their businesses open, right? We've got to, as owners, we've got to start moving up the hierarchy of what tasks we're actually accomplishing, right? I started out my laundromat, did not go the way I wanted. So I had to sweep the floor and wipe down the machines and mop. And I had to do all that stuff for a while, right? Until I could figure out how to hire somebody to do that so that I can move up the ladder, right? We've got to move up the ladder enough and insert systems, utilize technology, and utilize people and the culture that we're creating in our laundromats to give us space to have an idea like, oh, let's do a craft day where kids come and make puppets and it ends in a puppet show that night, right? Just something fun for the community. It takes space in your life to be able to come up with an idea like that and then actually implement it. And you can't do it when you're worried about making money and you're worried about staying afloat. And that's a lot of like what Waleed is saying, what Ross is saying in the chat there, of like, hey, charge enough for what like one of our problems, a chronic problem in our industry is we don't charge enough. Chronic problem. And we don't raise our prices when we need to. It's chronic. It's the pandemic of our industry. Yeah.
We look at the stores around us and say, what are they charging? And then we come up with a price. And granted, you have to look at the market. Like the store next to you can't be whatever, $6.50 for a 45-pound machine. And you're like $9. Like, I don't care if you got ozone or whatever. The average person is going to be like, why is there such a big difference? You got to charge.
Yeah, absolutely. So work yourself up the hierarchy there. And start thinking bigger. So you're working classic, like on the business, not in the business.
Yeah. Stuart, you're right. Barriers are our greatest friends.
I saw that exactly.
Embrace them.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben said, will self-service exist 10 to 15 years from now? Or will wash and fold, pick up and delivery take over completely?
Yeah, what do you think?
Let you answer that first, Jordan.
I mean, I think it's going to exist. I think there will always be a market for it. However, I mean, we're already seeing a lot of this stuff consolidating, right? I don't know, in our market in LA, in your market in New York, I'm seeing more laundromats shut down and more larger customer service focused laundromats taking over. So I think there's going to be a consolidation.
Let me ask you
will there be self-serve? I think, yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think it'll be self-service too, to answer Ben's question. But let me ask you this, because we hear a lot of talk about the consolidation and these multi-store owners, right? We typically say multiple stores. You might think like 3 to 6 or something like that. But we're talking people with 20, 30, 15. Plus. Let's say 15 and up.
Yeah. Okay.
In your opinion, or your data, your research from being the go-to person in laundry to get consulting and great solid advice, how many of those portfolio stores do you think the majority of the portfolio is performing well? Somebody got like 20, 30 stores, right? How much of the portfolio you think is really performing well?
I don't know. Williford's, where you at, huh? Where you at? Brandon Understall, where you at? Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. And obviously, like, there's going to be a spectrum on performance, right? They're probably going to have some outstanding stores. They're probably going to have some underperforming stores. I mean, obviously, like actually, I'll tell you this just based on people that I've talked to who are aiming to build these portfolios and who have 15 plus and who are aiming to build much bigger portfolios. I see a lot of them slowing down right now because there's some real obstacles. Once you hit 15, 20, 30, there's some real obstacles to maintaining operations and keeping a high standard when you're at that level. And, I've talked with, I'll say multiple, more than a dozen owners who are aiming for that, who have slowed down strictly because they've got, they were in aggressive acquisition mode, aggressive buy expansion mode, and have had to slow down because they haven't been able to figure out exactly how to maintain performance across the portfolio. So I think it's a huge challenge to do that. And part of the problem for that, I think maybe, is that there aren't really too many models of that working successfully. And so we're figuring it out. And is there a solution to that? I'd say probably, but are we there? I don't think many people have figured that out, if anybody yet. I don't know, but what do you think? I mean, I'm assuming you think not many of them are performing well. That's what I'm assuming.
One, to answer Ben's point, I believe self-service is going to be around 10, 15 years. Easy. Will it be in the same form that it is today? Probably not. And we must keep in mind the client, customer, consumer, whatever term you want to use, even though words have meaning. So client has a deeper meaning than customer and consumer, but that's for another conversation. They are getting more and more educated. And that's one thing about our industry. We've lowballed the intelligence level of the clientele who use a self-service laundromat. And I'm not saying all of us, right? But if you listen to the general consensus and talk about the clientele that we serve, they're underestimated. So their access to information, their expectations is going to change how the self-service store looks in the future. And people are thinking about the generation we're serving now. We need to be thinking about who's the generation we're going to be serving later on, like Gen Alpha, et cetera, et cetera. What are their expectations, right? What are they going to be looking for? What are their behavior patterns, right? You know, I mentioned it before and it popped up in the chat. I believe Super Clean Laundry put it there earlier. Looking at the cameras in the store to see what people's behaviors are. They will tell you what they want. We just not listening, right? So self-service will be there. Now, when we talk about these portfolios, I believe these portfolios are very similar. Some of them, not all of them, which is why I can't wait to sit down with John Schimmel, who's got 21 plus stores in 5 years. And he told me he was coming to the forum. I was like, I'm locking this guy in a room and have like a really deep conversation on how they're managing and performing these locations. But I look at them the same way we look at VCs or these portfolio investors. They have a portfolio of companies that they invest in. And let's say they have, 10 companies. Probably one of them is a winner. 2 or 3 are producing some revenue for them and they're like, this is good. And the rest are just straight dogs. They're just burning some cash, or maybe they're getting a little bit of profit here and there. They're spitting out some income. But there are others are just in the portfolio until something happens with them. I find it hard to believe that all these stores are performing at peak levels. And you said it, when you reach a certain level, this critical mass happens. And it's like, how do you manage this? Especially when you start spreading these stores across distance. Now, some people say, hey, they got a great team, Waleed. They got regional manager or district manager. 100% possible. 100%. But we're talking across the board when we look at all of them. I don't think all these stores are performing. And the reason I say it, I've traveled up and down the United States before I got back into self-service after taking this 8-year break of only doing pickup and delivery. And I've went in stores, got on planes to go. Somebody would show me a picture of a store, or a distributor be like, oh, this store is in Michigan. I was like, where? They send us the address. We get on a plane and we would go to Michigan to see the store and get information to understand what it's doing. And there's a lot of stores that we went to. I walked in and I was just like, oh, this is how laundry is done here, or this is how self-service is managed. I was blown away. And it wasn't in a positive way.
Time will tell, man. Time will tell how it shakes out. And like you said, like, are there people who are going to do it well? I think there are probably people who are doing it well. In fact, Stuart might be one of those people who are doing it well.
Oh, there's definitely people doing it. 100%.
But across the board, it's tough. It's challenging. I mean, Stuart knows how challenging it is. We talk all the time about, and I know he talks to lots of people in the industry all the time about challenges he's facing, but he's also a glutton for punishment. That's right.
It's opportunity. Right. It's like when people look at it, oh, it's bad. I look at that as opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, I promised I'd answer a question about SWOT. Do we do SWOT analyses when buying a laundromat? And I'll say absolutely, man. I mean, it's worth looking at. If you're looking at a location, look to see what are the strategic advantages of that particular location. I talked with a client earlier today who he's got a brand new gigantic laundromat coming in down the road in a month or so. And we talked about like, okay, we got to talk about what are your strategic advantages. It's not going to be size. It's not going to be newness. So let's figure out, we got on that customer service train over there. Let's figure out what are your strategic advantages and what are your disadvantages, and how do we maximize the advantages, minimize the disadvantages, and what opportunities are available. And we know the big threat in that situation, right, is that brand new laundromat coming in. So absolutely, we do SWOT analysis. We look at a competitor analysis. Yeah.
Jordan,
hit it. Yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but you just made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up.
I love it.
Don't be fooled by new and shiny. Right? We were having a conversation on Twitter. Fresh Grizzly is his Twitter handle. His store had older machines and his competitor had new machines. But he out-serviced his competitors. And his customers stayed loyal to him because of the service they got. And then later on, when he got to a store a certain level, he was able to retool. And he's crushing it. The other piece is, we have a store near us who just retooled, been in the market longer than us. And the retool has not brought his clients back. So your client has a huge advantage, in my humble opinion. They've been in the community longer. They can out-service them. They can out-wow them. These big stores are great. They sound good. They look flashy. But some of them, they're struggling, ladies and gentlemen.
It's not a gimme, right? The new, shiny, bigger, it's not a gimme by any means. And in fact, a lot of times they have a lot of overhead they got to make up. That makes it tough. And if they're not coming with an A game and you're there in that market already with an A game, you got a real good shot at keeping your customers and even growing in the midst of it. Because it's I've seen it where customers go to a brand new, larger store, and yeah, they like the machines, but if that experience is not good otherwise, they'll go back to the store they feel comfortable with and they're familiar with. And one of the conversations we had in our conversation with this client earlier is, I was like, it's really difficult for people, not just in our business, but anytime. Like, it's really difficult for people to leave like a laundromat and go to a different one when they feel like family at your laundromat, right? They feel like they're betraying you. And if you've done a good job of serving them and building a culture of this family, this relationship that you have with the customer, it's really difficult for them to leave. And yeah, they might go take advantage of the promotion of the new store, that whatever they have, but they'll come back because it's really hard to like look somebody in the eye and say, I know we've been like family, but they've got new machines and they're bigger, right? It's really hard for people to do that.
It's about building the relationship. Let's be absolutely clear. There will always be someone who comes and builds something better. They got more money. They have more resources than you, right? They have the latest and fanciest thing. But the relationship is the hardest thing for them to break. If you build a relationship up with these clients over time, they're more forgiving to the mistake you made in having a relationship with them over these years versus the new fancy dangle thing down the block when they go there and have a bad experience on the first or second time they go there, because you have that bond with them. And it's proven. The data is there. Go read, go do studies on retail. I urge you, I implore you, you run a self-service laundromat, you should be looking at retail data. You should be studying retail habits. Why do they put things a certain way? Why do they paint things? Why does McDonald's use yellow and red so much? Right? Why did so many McDonald's have playgrounds back in the day? The kids brought the parents. We miss on these little things. We have children who come to our laundromat and refuse to let their parents go to another laundromat because of the way we treat them and things we do for them. The lady said, listen, my daughter's yelling at me not to go to the other laundromat, that we always have to come to VIP bubbles all the time. It's so important.
Huge. Love the name, by the way. Right in brand right there. I love it. All right. I know we got to wrap this up. Like, this is way past Waleed's bedtime, and it's 2:30 over here. So I got to hit the waves here pretty quick before I dry out too much. You know, I got to. But Nick, I don't know if you have any tips for Nick. Nick said he's doing a free laundry day this coming Saturday. You got any tips on how to organize, letting the customers use the machines? Listen, free laundry day can be chaos if you don't plan it correctly. And you know what? It's also okay if the first one's chaos, as long as you're learning from it. But maybe we can give some tips so they can learn the easy way first. Got anything? And chat, jump in too if you got any. If you've got any suggestions there for the free laundry day.
Yeah. One, make sure you got enough team members. You got enough people there to help orientate people, give them instructions, come up with a number system. I don't care if you just get a Post-it and you start writing numbers on it. People come in, have them line up, whatever way you want to do it, outside the store, inside the store, line their carts up, start giving them numbers and have that number on a Post-it or whatever you want to use. Follow them from the whole journey, from the time they come in to the washer to the dryer. Have some team members expediting the washers and have another team member expediting the dryers. So as soon as those machines stopping, they're going to track that customer down and have them get their clothes out so you can get the next person in. Throughput is going to be your best friend doing free laundry day. And you want to make sure
worst enemy.
Or
worst enemy. Yeah.
And you want to make sure you have some activities for the kids. I don't care if you go to the dollar store and buy some cheap crayons and buy a coloring book and then go make photocopies of the coloring book pages and put a little table in the corner and have a team member be over there with your children, coloring, so they stay occupied and stay out the way. You do not want them running around doing what they normally do in the laundromat when they're riding around in the carts and running through the store. They will
sitting in the dryers.
Yeah. Yep, sitting in the dryers, slamming the washer doors. Right. But let's not focus on the negative. Keep them active, doing something. Focus on the throughput. Have your team be extra friendly that day, over the top. If you can, it's in your budget. Give away some beverages. I don't care if it's just water or some soda, right? Give something to them, not just a free laundry. Like get some water. Water is very inexpensive. Some nice cold water for them to drink while they're waiting. And if you can get a partner, maybe to donate some snacks, or you go to Costco's, Ross's favorite place, and buy those snack packs and give out some little bags of snacks while they're doing it. They will appreciate it.
I think Costco's only Ross's favorite place because they have wine, like lots of wine there. So might be. Only other thing, I mean, I think that's huge. And I think, thinking through that between now and Saturday would be huge on how you're going to actually organize it, because, like Waleed was saying, like, your throughput is either going to make or break the day and make or break you on that day. The only other thing I'll add to that is free laundry day is an excellent opportunity to get contact information of customers and potential customers. So make sure everybody registers. You can have a laptop or a iPad or whatever. Have them just name, phone number, email address, if nothing else. Get those 3 pieces of information at a bare minimum. Yep. And don't make it cumbersome or anything. Make it easy. It could just be a piece of paper that they write on as well. Although it's easier if they just input it into, or you have somebody sitting there that inputs it, when they verbally give it to you. But getting that information is huge, because now you've got a way to contact them, to follow up with them, to let them know when your next event's coming up. If you need, if you need to get an announcement out there or promotion or whatever, you've got a way to do that. And now you're starting to build a list that you own if you don't have that yet. And that could be huge. Yeah. And I love Bob's idea. Said make an AI generated coloring page with your laundromat logo and theme in your face. Amy said, does someone say wine? That's awesome. Yeah.
And
get creative. Document. And share it
on
if you can. if you can hire somebody to come and do photos and videos, that would be massive because that gives you a lot of content going forward, and a lot of ways to kind of promote it. And I don't know if it's too late or not, but reaching out to some like the newspapers, all that stuff and trying to get some PR. That's also, they love that stuff. And that's also great press for you and great advertising for you. That's free. Get after that as well if you can. That's like, do it first thing in the morning tomorrow.
Yeah, Nick said, do you limit how many washers they can use at one time? Yes and no. The goal is to get them in and out as fast as you can. So if the line is not too long and I've got somebody who's got 2 carts full of clothes, I'm putting them in to hurry up and get them through the cycle. The other pieces too, I don't know how you have your machine set up, but if you have like deep clean or these extended wash cycles that you upcharge for, turn them all off. Run regular wash cycle unless somebody has something that's like really heavily soiled, that's really bad. Just let it run regular wash cycles on that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Nick's
only
got 18 washers.
18 washers. Yeah. That's good. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have a lot of washers, not a lot of washers. Listen, you're doing something cool for the community, right? So you're doing something awesome. That's great. Try to keep it as organized as possible, but also just know things are going to go wrong. You're going to learn from this one. Take advantage of getting contact information. And if you can promote it and let other people promote it for you, do that as well.
Yeah, Nick, you might have to limit with 18 washers.
Yeah. What I was going to say is maybe you keep a number like, hey, you can use 2 washers at a time, but they can get back in line or, something like that. Yeah. You got to give, it also depends on how many people show up. Right. And that has a lot to do with how well you're promoting it and all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, have a general guideline, 2 washers or 3 washers or whatever. And then, say, hey, no problem if you have extras, you just got to get back in line. We're trying to give everybody an opportunity to do it or something like that. Right. But thinking through all this stuff ahead of time is smart. You won't be able to think of everything, but yeah.
Like the free laundry day is only from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. or come up with a time frame.
Awesome. Well, dude, Waleed, this has been incredible once again. And as always, appreciate you coming on and sharing wisdom. I just love having like conversations. We got to hit a lot of cool topics that are on the larger, overarching topics, which I always love doing with you. But also, as always, a ton of practical stuff. So I really appreciate you. I know it's getting late out there, so I appreciate you taking the time. If you haven't yet, sign up for the Laundry CEO Forum that's happening in Dallas, October 5th to 7th.
That's it. Is
that right? I put the link in the chat, laundryceo.com. Go register today. That's your best ROI. Better than payment systems and automatic doors, for sure. Laundry CEO Conference Forum over there. So, Wally, man, appreciate it. Appreciate you, bro. And
Thank you,
can't wait for Laundry CEO Forum, man.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks, man. It's going to be
twice
as good as last year. Guarantee it.
Twice as good.
Yeah.
That's hard to fathom.
You're going to be surprised what we got this year.
I drove a Ferrari last year, so I don't know what you could even do to make it twice as good.
That was forget that part.
Day made. Yeah, day made right there. I don't know.
Talking about
lifetime
the information and the knowledge that you can take back and put in your business.
Which also was top notch. By the way, my son, I brought my son with me last time and he was so psyched. He got a picture with the former CEO of 7-Eleven and was just jazzed out of his mind. So good stuff, man. Everybody in the chat, appreciate you guys for jumping in, asking questions, answering questions. Conversation as always is just phenomenal in the chat. And super psyched that a lot of you guys are going to be in Dallas. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And whoever's not coming, I'm checking the list. I'm looking at the names in the chat. I'm going to check my registration list tonight. Come on.
Yeah. You think it's bad being on Santa's naughty list. You don't want to be on Waleed's naughty list. All right. So get on there, get on the good list.
And if anybody's got questions or reservations or whatever it might be, reach out to me. There's always a way.
Love it. Waleed, thanks again, brother. And we'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
Take
have a
care,
good night,
everybody.
guys. Bye.